Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars video. We're looking at Walmart. This time we're at a higher end Walmart. It's been my experience that based on demographics, the higher end Walmart you go to, or the further you go to from our border, the higher quality of toys, the better quality of service that you receive, more organization. And we can see that here, that all the toys are organized, they're all neatly stacked, and it's been experienced that as the further you go, the more you will find. When I was younger, you would see rarer Star Wars toys on the shelves as opposed to the ones that were closer to where I lived. Demographics are something big here in the stores. So let's see what Star Wars toys they have for today. We have the Rogue One series line for Cassian Andor. Wow, 786, that is a lot for Star Wars figure. We have here the new Resistance figures. And we have another one there. Let's put these together there. I don't know who they are. I haven't seen Resistance, but based on the recent YouTube trailer that came out a couple months ago, it has bad reviews. Okay, so we have here some other figures. Snoke. I think for the most part we're gonna see the same figure over and over again. You know, the thing as I was telling earlier, that the further you go, the more figures you would find. I would see at my local Walmart none of the figures that I needed. When I was younger, I would go on the collection to collect clone troopers, but I could never find them at my local Walmart, so I had to drive about 10-15 miles away and I would find them there. I'm not sure why that's exactly, but that was usually the case. If we compare, like for example, the store Burlington to Bloomingdale's, obviously you would see the quality and selection is quite different, and we can see the same as Walmart based on the demographic population catering to that. So we see a lot of Snokes, a lot of Reys, a couple Jyn Ersos. You know, the thing about Snoke is that they kill him off rather quickly and there's no really development for him. You can see Londo from the Solo movie, from the Black series. We saw that in our previous video. We have Rey, Kira, Londo. I think for the most part those are the ones we're going to see. But I know there are some black figures out there, like for example Captain Rex, Stormtrooper, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. Those are the ones that are selling, but none of these Disney characters for the most part are selling. And I wonder why. I guess because nobody likes them. Disney hasn't fully developed these characters, and the audience that they target them, which is Star Wars mostly for males, they're not buying them. They're nobody's heroes. They're not relatable characters. Okay, so what do we have here? I've never seen these before. I have no idea what they are. They're Micro Force. Wow. Interesting. I'm not sure who would buy that. As we can see that no one has bought one still. They're still full on it. Let's go ahead and put Snoke over here. Well, it doesn't even fit anymore because nobody's buying them. Blade Builders. The cause of the demise and fall of Toys R Us. There's a video out there on YouTube that I saw. I think it was from Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Ethan Van Sciver. He went to a local Toys R Us store and full of boxes and boxes full of Blade Builders. No one was buying them. And that's rather quite sad to know. Here we have one from the Rebels. And this is Kanan. The box is kind of torn. Looks like they probably bought it and returned it. They didn't like it probably. Let's go ahead and see if we can find what year it is from. Let's take a look here. Camera's out of focus. Focus. Well, so you can find here a year. Ah, here we go. 2016. So this has been sitting on the shelf for approximately 3 years since it came out. It hasn't been bought yet. It's rather sad. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. You know, it really stuns me to see the state of Star Wars. Here we have another lightsaber. And so you can find the year on this one. out of focus. Well, 2017, a couple years. On the other hand, we have here Five Nights at Freddy's plush dolls. I'm not sure why they even made these into plushes if they're for kids. I personally think that that game shouldn't be for kids, but here they are. Kids play them anyways. So here we have some dinosaur Jurassic World figures. I used to have a lot of these when Jurassic Park came out, the first movie, when I was younger, and the toys seem rather the same quality. How difference between the Star Wars toys and these toys? There's a big difference there. The quality is different, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so these 12-inch figures, I remember Star Wars used to have a line of these. We would have Stormtrooper Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker and Stormtrooper armor, Han Solo. But the point with these newer figures is that they have a lack of articulation. Not only the 12-inch figures, but also the 3 3/4-inch figures. Here you can see the Fortnite figures, and they appear to look better than the Star Wars figures, which is rather sad again. But they're priced relatively the same. Approximately, how much is that? $12.97. That's how much a higher-end Star Wars figure would cost you. $12.97. When about 15 years ago, they used to be $5, and I used to go get Star Wars toys every now and then, every week actually. And it's rather sad what it's come to nowadays with Star Wars and toys in general. Kids aren't buying them. They're mostly into their iPods and smartphones. Okay, so here's something interesting. We see Bo Peep from the Toy Story movie, but she is wearing a different outfit. She reminds me much like Grace, if you can see with her stuff there. Rey has the stuff, and it looks like, you know, the feminist movement's taking over everything. It's politics taking over our movies, our media. And I don't know, let's see that we're going in. Would I see the new Toy Story movie? I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I've seen the third one. I think that was a perfect ending. I don't really think that they should continue with the 4. But it is what it is. Disney needs its money to recuperate the losses on the Solo movie that came out last spring. So that'll be it for today. We can take from this video that there's a lot of politics involved in our figures. We're not getting the same quality, and we'll have to see. It saddens me to see the state that the toy industry is in right now. We saw Toys R Us closing last year, and toys aren't moving. They're not moving because the audience that they make them to, they're not buying them. You know, I wouldn't buy a Rey figure or a Kira. I wouldn't know who would though, but that's what they're making. And if any of you remember the Rose Tico that came out with the Last Jedi line, they were rows and rows of rows. Yes, pun intended. But they're not here anymore, so I wonder where they are now. Probably all in the landfills somewhere in Minnesota or in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I don't know. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been Grandes Clásicos 93. Hoping to see you in the next video. Signing off and wishing everyone a very pleasant good evening.